Ever been in the back seat and suddenly felt sick, even though you're literally just sitting there? That's car sickness, and it can feel like your stomach flips for no reason. So, why does your body act like something's wrong when nothing bad is happening? In this segment, we'll break down what your brain thinks is going on during a ride and why that mistake can trigger nausea so fast. One idea is that car sickness happens because your brain reads mixed signals like a warning sign, almost like poisoning. Here's the weird part. Your body is basically stationary in the seat. You're strapped in, not walking or running anywhere at all. But your inner ear has balance sensors that track motion. It's built to help you sense movement, even with your eyes closed. Inside the inner ear are fluid-filled tubes. When the car accelerates, brakes, or turns, that fluid shifts and sloshes around. Meanwhile, your eyes might be locked on a book or phone. If you're looking down, your vision can say, "We're not moving." Now you've got a sensory conflict. Vision reports stillness, but balance sensors report motion. That mismatch is a classic setup for motion sickness. This is one current theory. The exact mechanism is still being studied. Still, the idea is your brain gets confused and hits the nausea button. If your brain treats that confusion like poisoning, it may trigger vomiting. Throwing up is the body's old school way to expel possible toxins. So far, we've seen how car sickness can start with a sensory conflict. Your inner ear and balance sensors feel motion while your eyes may see still. That mismatch can push your brain toward nausea, almost like it's reacting to poisoning. But here's where it gets interesting. Why would our brains be so jumpy about this in the first place? The answer points to how recently humans started riding in vehicles. Humans have only recently started traveling in cars and buses. Evolution hasn't fully adapted us, so the brain still uses older danger shortcuts. To reduce motion sickness, try looking forward at the road or horizon. When your eyes see movement too, the sensory conflict shrinks. Avoid reading or staring at screens in a moving car. Looking down makes your vision signal still, which can worsen car sickness. Fresh air can help. Even if it's not a magic fix, opening a window or using air conditioning can make symptoms feel less intense. Sitting in the front seat often helps because you get a clearer view ahead. Better visual input can reduce sensory conflict during turns and stops. All these tricks aim at the same goal. Align what you see with what your inner ear senses. Less mismatch means fewer mixed messages. When the brain isn't stuck choosing between signals, it calms down. That can mean less nausea and a smoother ride, but not always. Car sickness is basically your brain's ancient wiring misreading a modern car ride. Your inner ear, your eyes, and your balance sensors don't always agree, and that sensory conflict can make your brain act like you've been poisoned. This is one current theory. The exact mechanism is still being studied. The good news is you can often lower the mismatch. Look forward, skip reading, get fresh air, and sit up front for a steadier ride. You meet someone new and it's weirdly predictable. You can picture their face perfectly later, but their name vanishes instantly. It feels like your brain is trolling you, but it's not random. Your memory systems treat faces and names totally differently. In this segment on why we remember faces but not names, we'll break down what makes faces sticky and why names slip through. So, what's your brain actually prioritizing today? Faces are packed with information at once: age, emotion, gender cues, and tiny features. That richness gives your visual memory more to grab onto. Your brain is built to process images fast, so face recognition happens almost automatically. Visual memory loves patterns, and faces are full of them. For survival, recognizing people mattered, quickly telling ally from enemy. That history pushed the brain to prioritize face recognition in social situations. A face can trigger feelings instantly: friendly, intimidating, familiar. Those emotional reactions strengthen visual memory, making the face easier to store and replay. A name, meanwhile, is usually an arbitrary sound or set of letters. Without meaning attached, auditory memory has less to anchor during name recall. Names also come with little built-in imagery. If you don't connect the sound to something visual, name recall depends on pure repetition and attention. The brain stores faces and names in different areas, so they aren't automatically glued together. You can recognize the face, yet miss the label. That linking step, connecting face recognition to the spoken name, can fail easily. If the connection doesn't form, name recall drops even when the face stays. So far, we've seen why faces win. They're rich, visual, emotional, and your brain treats face recognition as socially important. Names are abstract and stored separately, so name recall needs extra support. But here's where it gets interesting. Even when you definitely hear the name, your brain might not encode it well in the first place. Let's look at what's happening during that awkward introduction moment, right as you're trying to be cool. Most introductions give you a name for just a second, then the conversation moves on. That tiny window makes auditory memory work under pressure. At the same time, your attention is locked on the person's face, reading expressions and vibes, visual memory gets fed, name recall gets leftovers. When attention is divided, memory encoding weakens. You're processing the face, the situation, and what to say next, so the name fades. Names usually stick only with repetition or a strong association. Saying it back, hearing it again, or linking it to an image boosts name recall. Faces get processed more deeply because they carry social signals and emotion. That depth makes face recognition feel effortless compared to remembering a sound. Names rarely come with an emotional hook on their own. Without meaning, auditory memory treats the name like disposable noise unless attention reinforces it. Put it together and the pattern makes sense. Faces stay because visual memory and emotion support them, while name recall slips when attention is thin. That's why you remember faces but not names. Your brain evolved to treat faces as high priority social data, while names are abstract sounds. Unless you repeat a name or attach meaning, it doesn't get a strong foothold in memory. And remember, this is a general pattern. Individual memory abilities vary. Next time you meet someone, try giving the name a quick association so your brain has something real to hold on to. Why do you explode into laughter when someone pokes your ribs, even if you're begging them to stop? And why can't you tickle yourself no matter how hard you try? Ticklishness is one of those human glitches that feels silly, but it's actually pretty complex. In this segment, we'll break down what your body and brain are doing during a tickle, and why it might have mattered for survival and for play. One idea is that ticklishness may protect vulnerable body parts. The neck, armpits, and stomach matter, so your body reacts fast there. A tickle is unexpected touch and your reflex fires before you decide anything. You twist away, tense up, and guard the spot automatically. That quick reaction can act like practice. Repeated tickling trains you to respond fast to surprise contact, like a mini self-defense drill. Inside the brain, the tickle response links touch with threat-like signals. It can activate pain and touch centers together, which makes it feel intense. Then there's involuntary laughter. It can look like you're having fun, but it may also work as a stop or submission signal. At the same time, those sounds can resemble playful noises, so the same reflexive reaction can read as defense mechanism or play depending on context. Notice the tickle zones: neck, armpit, stomach. These are sensitive, hard to protect, and close to important structures, so your body treats touch there seriously. Because those areas are extra sensitive, even light fingers can set off the reflex. Your muscles jump, your breathing changes, and you try to escape. So far, we've seen ticklishness as a fast reflex that protects vulnerable spots, mixes touch with pain circuits, and can trigger involuntary laughter as a stop signal. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all tickling feels like defense. Sometimes you're laughing because it's play, and the whole point is connection. Let's switch from get away to we're bonding, and why that difference matters so much. Tickling often happens between people who trust each other, like parents and kids. In that setting, ticklishness can support social bonding through shared play. As a playful interaction, tickling creates a safe surprise. You get the rush of the reflex, but inside a relationship that feels friendly. Laughter then becomes feedback. It reinforces the moment as positive, telling the other person, I'm engaged, even while your body is squirming. For babies, tickling may connect touch, faces, and laughter. Over time, they can learn that certain surprises lead to joy and giggles. That could help early emotional learning. Tickling might teach how to handle excitement, boundaries, and enough using laughter and squirming as signals. Now, the weirdest part, you can't tickle yourself. Your brain predicts your own touch, so it labels it non-threatening and turns down the tickle response. Because predicted touch gets cancelled, the reflex stays strongest for surprise contact from someone else. That makes ticklishness both social and defensive, depending on context. So why are we ticklish? The honest answer is the exact reason we're ticklish is still debated, but the clues line up. Ticklishness looks like a reflex that helps guard vulnerable areas and practice quick reactions, while also supporting social bonding through playful touch and laughter. And the fact you can't tickle yourself shows how much your brain shapes the whole experience. It's part defense, part connection, and still a mystery.